Elden Ring, the most recent installment in the Soulsborne series brought to us from developers from Software. These are some of the most difficult games ever made, and Elden Ring is no different. I have set out on a quest to get the Platinum Trophy in Elden Ring. For the uninitiated, a Platinum Trophy is something given to you on a PlayStation once you've achieved all other trophies within that game. This has been one of the most difficult challenges I have ever completed in over a decade of gaming. I cannot wait to take you along on this journey with me, but before we get into that, I would like to ask, if you find that you enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more Platinum playthroughs in the future. With all that being said, come along with me into the lands between as we Platinum Elden Ring. We begin by selecting our class. Based on previous videos that I'd seen of other creators, I decided to take the Samurai class as it seems to be the easiest to start with. We then learn some background about the game we're about to play.
Oh, rise now, ye tarnished.
After the narrator moans in our ear a little bit, we wake up in this chapel, open these doors, and make our way down to this courtyard where we will face our first boss, the Grafted Scion.
Hey. Watch it.
After being decimated by the Grafted Scion, we wake up in this cave, receive our healing and magic flasks, and make our way into the open world of Elden Ring with Limgrave. We quickly make our way to the first open world boss, the Tree Sentinel. Now, while this boss is not required for the Platinum, we did decide to spend some time and try and beat him. Oh!
Touch too early. Oh my. No way! Button. I pressed so quick. It's hysterical. Oh my god, I'm choking.
After we get absolutely decimated by the Tree Sentinel a few times, we decide to cut our losses, make our way to the Church of Ella, and light our first sight of grace. After the rough time we had with the Tree Sentinel, we decide to head on over to the Groveside Cave for a little ego boost and face the Beastman of Farum Azula. With the Beastman down and our egos up, it's finally time for us to begin trophy hunting. Our first stop will be back at the Church of Ella, where we will begin Ronnie's questline, which has several trophy bosses and items scattered throughout it. Before continuing through Limgrave, we make our way south to the Weeping Peninsula and into the Tombsword Catacombs, where we can get the ashen remains for Lutel the Headless. With our first legendary item in the bag, it's time to head to Castle Morn and kill two birds with one stone, specifically the bird named Leonine Misbegotten. Taking him out will not only grant us a trophy, but also our next legendary item.
Anything to do? Ow.
Get on. Absolutely shut on. Here we go. Trophy. Leonine Misbegotten. With the Weeping Peninsula completed, we can head north to Limgrave once again and begin the questline for Sorceress Sellen, but first we must take on the Mad Pumpkin Head.
Hold on. Oh my god, huge damage. Man, it's dead. He's dead.
Tarnished, are we?
With Sellen's quest set up, it's time to head to our next trophy boss, Margit the Fell Omen.
It's cutscene, I can't see, but...
Tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Serving as the first main story boss in the game, you would imagine this is going to be an easy pickup. However, as you'll see here, this is easier said than done.
They're gonna get near. And I'm on foot. Rock on. Thank you so much, Margaret.
After following in the footsteps of Tim the Tatman by taking just a couple of gravity-related deaths, we're finally able to lock in on our third attempt and come out with the win.
Oh, we did it! We got him with the bleed. Let's fucking go. Margaret and
With Margaret defeated, the way to Stormvale Castle is open, but before we do that, we speak with Melina, who gives us access to another easy trophy.
Table home. Trophy number 3.
From here we return to Stormvale Castle, making our way around and through the castle, doing our best not to be demolished by some of the crazy enemies that you can find here, like these banished knights. All of this leading to our next and final trophy boss in Limgrave, Godric the Grafted.
Mighty dragon, thou the true born heir. Lend me thy strength, O kindred. Deliver me unto greater heights. Well. Lowly tarnished. Plain as a lord. I command thee, kneel! I am the lord of all that is golden.
Godric will serve as the first remembrance boss in the game. What is a remembrance boss, you may be asking? Well, put simply, a remembrance boss is a boss that grants you an item called a remembrance upon defeat. These can be used to craft weapons and spells used by the corresponding boss. While the items crafted from the remembrances are not required for the platinum, each remembrance boss does have a corresponding trophy to go along with it, and there are 15 remembrance bosses within Elden Ring. Godric also serves as the first shard bearer within the game. Now, shard bearers are bosses that will grant you a great rune upon defeat, and these great runes, once activated, can give significant buffs to the player. All of this explanation just to say that there are 2 trophies locked behind Godric, one for his defeat and one for activating our first great rune. With Godric being the first of these shard bearers, it's easy to assume that he would be the easiest one. However, he should not be underestimated, as he was able to take me out a good handful of times before we were finally able to come out with a win. I need a second. Fuck over here, bitch. Fucking go.
Of all that is
How do you?
good
How do you? Thanks for the distraction, Greg.
return together to
It's
our
actually a huge help.
bathed in rays of gold.
I'm talking to you after they died. Woodrick's great rune. With Godric defeated and me completely forgetting to activate the Great Rune for our second trophy, we make our way into Liurnia of the Lakes, which will serve as the next big trophy area of the game. First things first, we head over here to Caria Manor to get ourselves our next legendary weapon, the Sword of Night and Flame. We don't actually end up using this weapon, but it's a nice one to have in your inventory. We proceed through the manor when we're finally faced with our next trophy boss, Royal Knight Loretta. This version of Loretta is not too difficult and we're able to take her down in just a couple of tries, but we will face a harder version of Loretta when we reach the Hallig Tree later in the game. After defeating Loretta, we are now able to access Ronnie's Rise, where we can actually talk with Ronnie and continue her questline.
And there wilt thou find each heed not their I'm sure the others.
After talking to Ronnie, we're clear to return to Liurnia of the Lakes, head to this location on the map where we can get the Academy Glintstone Key, which will allow us to enter the Glintstone Academy and face our next trophy boss, the Red Wolf of Radagon. With the Red Wolf defeated, the path is clear to the next and, in my opinion, most forgettable remembrance boss, Renala, the Queen of the Full Moon. Kids. Hate it here. Mother.
Hush, little Calva. I'll soon birth thee anew, a sweeting, fresh and pure.
Renala's fight is made up of two different phases. In the first phase, Renala is suspended above the player in a bubble where she cannot take damage. The only way to get her out of this bubble is to locate the 3 glowing sweetings around the room, hit them, and that will release her from the bubble. Once released, the player is free to damage Renala for a period of about 15 seconds. From here, just rinse and repeat until you make your way into phase 2. It's here where Renala will release the full might of her magical powers. She's got moves that can cover you long range, mid range, short range, as well as having summons that can track you across the entire arena. Phase 2 is definitely the most difficult of the fight, and if you're not careful, she'll definitely be able to take you down very easily. Yes, my Uchi is plus 5 at this point, I think. With Renala defeated, it's time for us to head underground into the Shiofra River. This is a beautiful underground area of the game with several trophy bosses locked behind it. Only one of these is available to us at this point, being the Ancestor's Spirit. In order to face the Ancestor Spirit, there are 6 fires that we need to light around the map that will grant us access to the boss fight. After all 6 fires have been lit, make your way over here to the Hallowhorn grounds and interact with the Horned Remains to initiate the boss fight. The fight with the Ancestor Spirit is admittedly one of the easier ones, especially if you come equipped with fire damage. Unfortunately for me, I did not have fire damage, so this was a little bit more of a task. With all of our trophy bosses in Liurnia now complete, it's time for us to run around and pick up all of the legendary items that we need for our completion trophies. First off, we're going to head over to the Malefactor's Ever Jail for the Flame of the Fell God. Now we head back to the Glintstone Academy to pick up our first legendary talisman, the Radagon Icon. And our final pickup in Liurnia is going to be over at the village of the Albinorics. We hit this jar to expose old Albus. After talking to him for a bit, he will grant us our first half of the Haligtree Medallion. With Liurnia now at our backs, it's time to make our way into Caelid, where our first stop will be over in Grail's Dragon Barrow. Our first job here will be to take down Grail, receive the 5 Dragon Hearts, take them to the Church of Dragon Communion, and receive the legendary incantation Grail's Roar. I think it's Grail's Roar that I need. Yes, Grail's Roar is used. From here, we make a quick pit stop back in Liurnia at the Forlorn Hound Everjail to take down Bloodhound Knight Darwil for the Bloodhound's Fang. This weapon is not required for the Platinum as it's just a rare weapon, but it is one of my favorite weapons to use in the game, so I had to get it for this playthrough. With our new weapon now upgraded, we make our way back into Caelid and over to Redmane Castle, with the goal of taking down General Radahn. Now, like the filthy casual that I am, I completely forgot that in order to fight Radahn, you actually have to go to Altus Plateau first. If you haven't done that, you're interrupted by these pains in the butt right here. And as we are still very underleveled for this point in the game, we are very quickly humbled by these bosses several times before deciding, you know what, let's move on, make our way into Altus, and come back to this later. Now you can make your way into Altus Plateau in one of 2 ways. You can search the map for 2 halves of the Dectus Medallion, which will allow you to ride a lift up into Altus safe and sound. We elect to take the more dangerous route through the mines because there is a required trophy boss in this area, Magma Worm Makar.
Good, it's good, we're good. Okay, I'm gonna distance myself a little bit here. Screech! Screech! Alright.
Now that Makar has been defeated, we're free to take this lift behind him up into Altus Plateau, head on over to the Golden Lineage Everjail for our next legendary talisman, the Godfrey Icon. However, it's not as simple as picking it up like it was with our last legendary talisman. In fact, we have to fight a clone of one of the Shard Bearers, Godfroy the Grafted.
Oh! Oh my god. Oh my god. Come on. Closer. Go. W. W, baby. Let's freaking go. Hey, Silver, welcome back. Glad to see ya. How you doing?
With another legendary talisman down, it's time to move on to our next legendary weapon and our next trophy boss, Elmer of the Briar. Elmer can be found in the Altus Plateau at the Shaded Castle. He is technically a side boss, but for whatever reason, it took me a whopping 28 attempts just to beat this boss. But in the end, it's all worth it to get another trophy and get that much closer to the platinum.
Thank you for getting access.
Oh.
No. What? What? Oh my god, he's still alive. My boys. Let's go. Dude, okay. There it is. There it is. Alright, looks like the Marianne Ashes really came in clutch there. That was freaking sweet.
Now it's finally time for us to backtrack back into Caelid to Redmane Castle so that we can take on General Radahn.
Allow me to paint you the full picture.
Clean run.
General Radahn is cursed ever to wander. Eaten from the inside by Melania's scarlet rot, his wits are long gone. Now he gathers the corpses of former friends and foes alike, gorging on them like a dog. Howling at the sky.
As the next Shardbearer boss, Radahn is far from a pushover. You begin the battle on the far end of his arena with him firing gravity arrows at you from a great distance. You have the option to summon a number of NPCs for this fight, which I do, just to make my life a little bit easier. Upon approaching Radahn, he will pull out these two gigantic curved swords and start going to town on you and all of the NPCs. After dealing sufficient damage to Radahn, he will begin using a combination of gravity magic with his normal attacks, pulling you in from a great distance and smashing you to bits with explosive attacks. Phase 2 of the fight begins when Radahn launches himself into the sky, only to plummet back to the earth in a meteoric explosion. During this phase of the fight, Radahn will become much more aggressive, and he will also incorporate new gravity attacks into his moveset. All this to say that he really didn't actually give us that hard of a time, and we took him down after only 5 attempts.
Alright, that's death. No way! Fucking shit on, bitch. Let's go.
With Radahn defeated, we are free to continue Ranni's questline by heading into Limgrave, going into this hole, and making our way into Nokron. Within Nokron, we will find our next trophy boss, the Mimic Tier, who is realistically pretty much a pushover.
Because this guy turns into me. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate you. Level 2. Alright, there's another trophy.
By continuing into Nokron, we can get our hands on our next legendary Ashen Remain, the Mimic Tier Ashes, as well as the next item for Ranni's questline, the Fingerslayer Blade. We bring the Fingerslayer Blade back to Ranni, and she gives us the Carrion Inverted Statue, which will allow us to progress through the Carrion Study Hall and to the Divine Tower of Liurnia, where we can pick up the next Ranni quest item, the Curse Mark of Death. Now we can take this to Renna's Rise, where we can access this teleporter, which will take us to the Ainsel River main. Here we pick up the miniature Ranni, and at the nearby Grace, we are free to talk to her.
A dogged fellow, aren't we?
Indeed.
She is requesting for us to eliminate baleful shadows. To do this, we continue through the Angel River into these ant-infested caverns, eventually making our way to the eternal city of Noxtella.
You're Greg. So basically, what's happening is we gotta go find Blythe and kick his fucking ass.
We can now get our hands on our next legendary talisman, the Moon of Noxtella, and from here we can make our way into this courtyard where we will encounter the baleful shadow of Blythe.
O shadow, thou art the last. Tell the two fingers that Rani the witch cometh to rend thy flesh with a fateful wound, ne'er to heal.
Come on!
Beautifully fought.
Indeed.
My thanks.
You're
'Twas
welcome.
more of a challenge than I envisioned.
Now we're going to take a little bit of a break from Ronnie and make our way over to the Volcano Manor where we can find our next trophy boss, the
Second time around, we
Godskin
didn't.
Noble.
Good boys. Range on it. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Defeating the Noble allows us to continue through the manor to this teleporter, which takes us to our next Shardbearer boss, Rykard, the Lord of Blasphemy. The fight against Rykard is divided into two different phases. In phase 1, you actually face the God-devouring serpent. This phase of the fight is much better approached up close, as the ranged attacks from the God-devouring serpent can poison you as well as launch you into the air and deal enormous damage. It is much easier to dodge his moves and hit him if you are much closer. Upon defeating the serpent, you are greeted with a cutscene introducing you to the true boss, Rykard.
Apparently they did buff him, but it's not written in a patch note. Got it. I knew something was different. That was not the same God-devouring serpent I'd fought in the past.
Very well.
God, you're gross.
Join myself and King as remedy.
No.
Together we will devour the very god.
Facing Rykard, in my opinion, is actually the easier phase of the fight, as he has much more range on his attacks. However, I feel his attacks in phase 2 are actually much easier to dodge. The only exception being when he starts raining down explosive skulls from the sky. All in all, this fight shouldn't give you too much trouble as long as you are using the Serpent Hunter and staying close in phase 1.
Now we stagger, maybe. Here we go. Charge attack. Charge attack. Nope, never mind. Here we go. Can we stagger? We can. Oh, he's down, he's down. That's it, that's W right there. Charge attack. Charge attack, big dubskis. Let's fucking go, boys. Second attempt of the day. Rykard's great rune, remembrance of the blasphemous.
It's at this point we can finally round out the casual player's build with the #1 casual item in the game, the Blasphemous Blade. The thing that makes this weapon so useful for more casual players is the fact that the Ash of War Taker's Flames not only deals incredible damage, but it also heals you every time you hit with the Ash of War, as well as it just gives you passive healing every time something dies. It's absolutely incredible if you're playing through the game your first time and having a hard time. We are now free to make our way into Lane Dell, but before doing that, we decide to make a quick pit stop in Limgrave to the Tree Sentinel from earlier to show him how much we've improved.
Get on.
Before proceeding, it's actually time for us to take on the Tree Sentinel's angry big brother, the Draconic Tree Sentinel. Now, while DTS does not offer a trophy for his defeat, it is actually required to make our way into the capital city. So after dying a handful of times, we're finally able to proceed.
3. Back up, back up. Alright, cool. That's game. Suck my ass, bitch.
As we make our way into the capital, we rest at this grace and are approached by Melina. She's here to let us know that she will actually be abandoning us, further adding to my existing mommy issues.
I shall depart.
After testing how far we can fall, which is totally unrelated to the Melina thing, by the way, we make our way further into Lane Dell. It's at this point we decide it's time to clean up some loose ends. We start by heading back into Caelid to face the Crucible Knight Misbegotten duo for the Ruined Greatsword. From here, we can make our way to the far end of Radahn's arena and into the War Dead Catacombs. Within, we will face a tree spirit who, upon defeat, will grant us the legendary Ashen Remains for Redmane Knight Oga. We now return to Nokron for our next Remembrance boss. To unlock it, we must light these fires around the map, head to the Hallowhorn grounds, and touch the horned remains. You'll notice this process seems a little bit familiar because this is kind of a duplicate boss, except it does have a remembrance link to it this time. Lucky for us, though, we did come equipped with fire damage this time around.
Oh my god! Alright, cool. Yay! We did it.
We continue into Nokron and make our way to the next trophy boss, the Valiant Gargoyles. Yet another annoying duo fight which seemed to run rampant through Elden Ring.
Oh, shit. Get on it, get at it, get after it, bud. We go. Magic. And kill. Shit on. Absolutely fucking shit on.
Upon defeating the gargoyles, make your way to the waterfall at the rear of the arena, where you will find this coffin. Interacting with it will cause the player character to climb in, and will be taken to the new location, Deeproot Depths. Here we can traverse these roots, make our way past these ants, and into this sort of lost city. Within this city, you can once again traverse these routes to the top of the area, which will lead you to this grace, which happens to be right outside of a boss room.
And I think in...
Making our way to the end of this arena, we will actually trigger our next boss fight with everybody's favorite gank boss, Fia's Champions. This boss fight is made up of 5 different fights against 5 different NPC type bosses. The first 2 will actually face you alone, but the final 3 will face you together in true gank fashion. This fight is really annoying, especially fighting those last 3 all at the same time. That being said, they did take us down a couple of times, but we were eventually able to defeat them.
Shit on. Fia.
We let Fia touch us for a moment before returning to an ant-infested cave nearby to get the legendary incantation for Elden Stars.
Cool.
We return to the Lake of Rot to complete Ronnie's questline. We traverse the lake, make our way into this temple, and in the temple we find another coffin, which will take us to our next remembrance boss, Astel, the natural born of the void. There's not really much to say here. This fight really didn't give us that much trouble, and after our 3rd attempt, we were able to defeat him.
No fucking way I pulled that off. Holy shit.
We now have access to an elevator at the back of the arena to take us to the Moonlight Altar. From here we head up the road to the cathedral, where we drop down this hole and find Ronnie. A cutscene triggers where Ronnie and I get married, kinda, I think? I don't know, I'm still fuzzy on the details. But after the cutscene, Ronnie spawns in. You get a moment to talk to her. After talking to her, she will disappear just as quickly as she came, but she will leave us with the lovely wedding gift of the Dark Moon Greatsword.
There it is.
We return to Fia, where we can interact with her for our next remembrance boss, Fortisax. This was my first time ever facing off against Fortisax, and I have to say, visually, this is one of my favorite bosses in the entire game. It's so flashy and so cool to see this dragon move with the lightning. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Anyway, it did take us a couple of tries, but on our 3rd attempt, we were able to come out with a win.
Oh wait, that's not Death Lightning. Spoiler alert, it's all Death Lightning. Alright, come on. All lightning. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. And viewers, let's go! Oh, double digits! Oh my god. Oh my god! Holy shit. This is such a cool fucking fight. Okay, Death Lightning. Death Lightning. That's his name. Yeah! We got him! First try!
Sticking to the theme of dragons, we return to Noxtella for our next trophy boss, the Dragonkin Soldier.
Sir, focus on my boys. Oh, you have no help. This is gonna be a cleanup. Yep. Alright. Yay! Trophy! Back it up.
Continuing our cleanup tour, we make our way back into Altus to this hero's tomb, where we face this Black Knife assassin to get the legendary weapon, the Black Knife.
We came out on top. We got the Black Knife.
Heading into the tomb, we face off against the boss, the ancient hero of Zamor, for the legendary Ashen Remains, ancient Dragon Knight Kristoff. We also face off against the Black Knife ringleader for the legendary Ashen Remains, Black Knife Tish. With our cleanup done, we're now free to return to Lane Bell and face our next trophy boss, Godfrey, the first Elden Lord.
Back to,
This is a very basic version of a boss we will face later in the game. His moveset is very easy to figure out and also very easy to exploit. That being said, we're able to beat him in just a couple of tries.
Leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. Heal. Cool, we're good. Oh, I ran out of stamina. But we got him. Cool. Fucking go, boys. Alright, we got our fourth.
We can continue onto this walkway behind Godfrey, jump down here, climb up onto this giant dragon spear for our next legendary weapon, the Bolt of Grandsax.
And we now have.
We immediately gain access to our next Shardbearer boss, who's actually a familiar face.
Okay.
Graceless, tarnished. What is thy business with these thrones? Godric the Golden. The twin prodigies, Mikola and Melania. General Radahn. Praetor Rykard. Luna Princess Rani. Willful traitors, all. Thy kind are all of a piece. Pillagers, emboldened by the flame of ambition. Have it writ upon thy meager grave. Felled by King Morgoth, last of all kings.
Okay. Internet's back up. We're good to go.
That's right, everybody. Margaret the Fell Omen is back with new weapons, a new moveset, and a brand new heckin' name. I gotta be honest with you guys, this is one of my least favorite bosses in the entire game, so we're gonna cut right to the end of this one.
Heal. Shit on. Absolutely fucking shit on. Let's fucking go, boys. Let's fucking go.
We now have access to enter the Erd Tree and repair the Elden Ring. Except the door's actually locked. Resting at the Grace in Morgoth's boss room, we're again approached by Melina, who explains to us that in order to enter the Erd Tree, we're gonna have to just burn the whole sumbitch down. So she gives us the Roll Medallion, which will grant us entry to the mountaintop of the giants. We proceed through the Forbidden Lands, make our way up the rolled lift, and into the mountaintop of the giants. There are a few things for us to take care of here, so let's get right into it. First, we make our way to the Heretical Rise, where we can pick up the legendary spell, Founding Rain of Stars. From here, we make our way into Castle Sol, where we can take on our next trophy boss, Commander Neil. Upon defeating Commander Neil, we can proceed behind his arena and pick up the second half of the Haligtree Medallion. Our last stop in the mountaintop of the Giants will be to face off against our next Remembrance boss, the Fire Giant. He's got a combination of attacks that can cover wide areas, as well as fire attacks that can track the player across the arena. He did give us a good bit of troubles, but after a few tries, we were able to beat him.
Still die.
But I won't. Get on. Get on. I just needed an audience. A real life audience. Shit on first try.
From here, we make a quick pit stop back at Mount Gelmir to pick up the legendary spell Comet Azure.
Yay.
It's time to return to the Forge of the Giants to once again meet with Melina.
I'm dead. I'm dead. Fuck my waifu. Yeah. Big sad. I want to know what happened to her hands. They're all scarred up like that. Bye.
O Erd Tree, you shall burn.
Indeed.
Burn for the sake of the new Lord. Thank you for guiding me here. The one who walks alongside flame shall one day meet the road of destined death.
This music is so good.
Goodbye.
My theory is that she died from Mesmer, the dude in the DLC trailer. I mean, there we go. Erd Tree of Flame. New trophy.
With the Erd Tree of Flame, we awaken crumbling Farum Azula. There's a lot of things for us to take care of here, so let's get started. First, it's time to take on everybody's favorite duo fight, the Godskin Duo. This is one of the harder fights in the game, but luckily for me, I'm using a cheesy casual strategy, so we actually beat them on our second try.
Oh, it's not. Come on. Come on. Get his ass. Absolutely fucking shit on. Second attempt, Godskin Duo? Are you kidding me right now, dude?
Now that the duo has been defeated, we can make our way over to this dragon and get absolutely ghosted by him.
Where'd he go?
And then grab this upgrade material for a trophy later on. We then get invaded by recusant Bernal, who, upon defeat, will drop our next legendary weapon, the Devourer's Scepter.
The Elden Beast healed when attacking him with holy damage, which was next.
And in the room just behind him, we get our next legendary talisman, the Old Lord's Talisman. Our final task in Farum Azula is to take on the Beast Clergyman, who will transform in Phase 2 into Malekith the Black Blade.
Go. Such a cool transformation. So cool, dude. Cool.
Again, this is one of the harder fights in the game, but using our cheesy casual strategy, we were able to beat it on the very first try.
Oh! Gotta need to dodge into him for that move. And that's Malekith. Try. Such a good boss. I just do not want to see any of his cool moves. He's so cool. I did not want to fight him in a way that would make things difficult for me. Sue me.
The rune of death is unbound.
Oh. And now that it's the
And
Ashen...
lands between are shrouded by death's dark fate. But the flames will also burn the impenetrable thorns. Farewell it is then.
Hey, puppies.
You'll be Elden Lord yet.
We awaken Lane-Del, but the city is different than how we left it. With the Erd Tree aflame, the city is now covered in ash. We return to Round Table Hold to pick up another trophy, God-Slaying Armament, which you get for fully upgrading a weapon.
Trophy, God-Slaying Armament.
With our new fully upgraded Blasphemous Blade, we return to the Ashen Capital to face off against the final bosses of the game. The first on the list, Gideon Ofnir, the All-Knowing. I am embarrassed to admit that even with my cheesy casual strategy, we did end up dying to Gideon once.
What? Yay!
With Gideon defeated, we are now free to make our way back to the Elden Throne to take on yet another familiar face, Godfrey the First Elden Lord.
Yeah, I totally said mug. I'm gonna shut up now. So when I first saw this cutscene,
Morgoth.
I thought the lion was Malekith.
Long and hard didst thou fight, tarnished warrior, spurned by the grace of gold.
God, His grace is pointing to us. That's wild.
Be assured, the Elden Ring resteth close at hand. Alas, I am returned. To be granted audience once more.
Such a cool fucking boss.
Upon my name as Godfrey, the first Elden Lord.
Our first death to Godfrey is so funny. Check it out.
Get it, Godfrey?
Was nobly
As the semi-final story boss, Godfrey is far from a pushover.
Alright, well,
Phase 1 is basically an exact copy from when we fought Goldfrey, but Phase 2 is when he becomes much more difficult.
Dude.
But after a handful of tries, we were able to take him down.
That will be all. Thou didst me good service, Sirosh.
So big.
I've given thee courtesy enough.
Phase 2 had the lion fighting. That would be so rad. Old.
Now I fight as Horaloo. Warrior!
Oh, shit, we got him.
Thy strength
Cool.
befits
I had no idea. I was so focused on trying to get that hit off.
Rather than continue on to the final boss, we decide it's time to tie up some loose ends and get everything set up for our final fights. Step 1 will be to return to the Grand Lift of Rold and make our way down to the consecrated snowfield. Our first task here will be to head east into the Cave of the Forlorn to pick up our final legendary weapon, the Golden Order Greatsword.
Legendary armaments.
Now we head into the sewers of Lane Dell to take care of another couple of things. first, we need to take on Moog the Omen for yet another trophy.
You were mowed down. Moog the Omen.
After defeating Moog, you can proceed to a secret area behind his boss room where you can unlock one of the endings. But please, for the love of God, if you're trying to get all 3 endings on one playthrough, do not open that door yet, as that will lock you out of any of the other endings. Finally, we can return to Caelid into the Celia hideaway to get our final legendary spell, Stars of Ruin.
Be it. That's another trophy right here. Legendary sorceries and incantations. Woo! All right.
At long last, it's finally time for the final push. The final main story bosses leading into the optional secret side bosses, starting with Radagon and the Elden Beast.
Gone. The gold.
Sporting one of the most diverse movesets in the game, the battle against Radagon serves as the ultimate test of strength and skill, with moves ranging from lightning spears that explode after a short period, to a shotgun of smaller lightning spears, to grab attacks that will leave even the worthiest of Tarnished beaten and battered. Coupled with the ability to lunge at you from across the arena, this makes for a extremely difficult fight. And this is just Phase 1. Phase 2 incorporates brand new moves, like the ability to teleport and deal AoE damage to anything within a short range. And of course, also adding on the increased aggression, longer combos, and AoE damage on almost every attack. With all of that stacked against you, you would imagine that's as bad as it gets. But unfortunately, upon defeating Radagon, you are met with a new surprise.
Wow, range on that explosion is huge. Wow. Okay. All right. We got him with 3 heals left. So that's, that's good. Technically 4. Technically 4. cool. So cool.
That's right. Immediately after defeating Radagon, you are forced to face the Elden Beast, the final main story boss of the game. While I will admit Elden Beast is easier than Radagon, you still should not go into this fight taking it lightly. With the ability to fire energy blasts of holy light across the entire arena, blast you with straight up pure cosmic energy, fire tracking arrows made of pure light from its own body. And of course, how can we forget everybody's favorite move, Elden Stars? And the fact that he can do any combination of these moves at any time makes Elden Beast one of the most adept ranged enemies in the entire game. I'll admit, having to face these two bosses back to back every single time that I wanted to try and do this felt like a personal attack from the game. But eventually we were able to make it through and defeat both Radagon and the Elden Beast. Upon defeating the Elden Beast, you are immediately returned to the arena where you faced Radagon. Now, typically this is where you would choose your ending and finish the game, but we have a few loose ends that we need to tie up first. Our first stop will be at the Mohgwyn Palace to face an upgraded version of an enemy that we fought earlier, Mohg, the Lord of Blood.
For real, though. That's what the hat's for, Greg.
Dearest Mikola. You must abide alone a while. Welcome, honored guest.
It's wild how quickly he goes from talking so tenderly to Mikola to the birthplace of our dynasty.
Now, truthfully, there's honestly not a lot for me to say about Mohg here. During Phase 1, his moveset, for the most part, stays the same as it was when you face him in the sewers. Now, in Phase 2, his moveset does change and he has some aerial attacks, but again, for the most part, it's the same as it was in the sewers. In fact, we have such an easy time with this that we end up beating him on our first try.
Oh shit. I think, yep, that's game. Alright, well. GG's Moog. Big GG's, buddy pal. Okay, so, let me just say. After the post-apocalyptic hellscape that was Radagon and the Elden Beast, that was a breath of fresh air, let me tell you.
Before continuing on our path of destruction, we make a quick stop back in Lanedale for the Erd Tree's Favor +2 Legendary Talisman. We also make our way into Mikola's Halig Tree, which we will be returning to just a little bit later. Our next stop takes us back to crumbling Faramazula to face our next optional secret boss, Placidusax.
And yes, this storm is quite a spectacle. It's pretty nuts. Ohio's really been getting hammered. I feel real bad for anybody out in Ohio. In the day, taking on the Dragon Lord himself. This guy I've beaten before. I'm not so worried about this one. Melania, I'm a little hesitant on. I don't know. Like, Melania is going to be the only thing holding us back from this platinum. Cool.
Now, in all honesty, this was actually my first time ever trying to fight Placidusax. I'd seen other people do it in the past, but I had never myself gotten
until about 3 a.m.
And this being my first experience with him, I gotta be honest with you guys,
Such a cool
I kind of
boss.
wish he was harder. That's not to say that he's not difficult. He definitely gave me a good run for my money. But it took me less than 10 tries to beat this boss, and as a secret boss, it was a little bit disappointing, especially with as cool as his introduction was. I was a little bit let down. Visually, the fight is amazing. He's got some really, really cool lightning attacks and a straight-up nuke attack that can damage you from a really big distance.
Scoot back. Mimic's about to die. Oh, he tanked.
I'm more than happy to keep coming back here and fighting this beautiful boss again and again.
Hello. We lost connection for a minute there. We're all back. We're all good. I think this is kill right here. And that's death. That's the Dragon Lord down, folks. And we did it outside of the lag spike.
With the Dragon Lord defeated, we make our way into the final new area of the game, Mikola's
talismans
Halig Tree.
left to grab while we're here.
Our first stop will be to face one of the two remaining trophy bosses,
Let's go.
Loretta, Knight of the Halig Tree. Little bit of behind the scenes info here. We've been condensing boss fights into about 45-second clips with the boss being defeated. Lucky for me, Loretta only took about a minute, so you guys get to see the whole fight.
Oh, yeah, dick. Oh, shit. Damn, son, where'd you find this? It's another trophy down. Loretta.
Continuing through the Halig Tree, we can pick up our final legendary Ashen Remains, Clean Rot Knight Finlay, for yet another trophy.
Alright. Clean Rot Knight Finlay. There's another achievement. Legendary Ashen Remains.
Next, we use a stone sword key to open up this fog gate, granting us access to one of our two remaining legendary talismans, Marika's Sore Seal.
Marika's Sore Seal. Alright. We have one item left to get.
That one remaining item being the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, which happens to be in this cathedral, hiding behind these rot bug wormy guys here.
Oh, it's something. Go! Another trophy.
And with that, we are on to our final hurdle before we can take on the endings of the game. The final boss for us to fight, Malenia, Blade of Mikola.
Here's the thumbnail. You bitch.
I dreamt for so long. My flesh was dull gold, and my blood rotted. Corpse after corpse left in my wake. As I awaited his return. Heed my words. I am Malenia, Blade of Mikola. And I have never known defeat.
Fuck.
Where do I even begin with this boss? There is so much happening here that makes this fight so not fun for me. She is fast. She has a long weapon with really long reach. She can close the distance in no time with any one of her moves from any distance. It doesn't matter. She heals every time she hits you, even if you're blocking. And of course, we can't forget about waterfowl dance.
Well, that's not how you dodge that move.
But despite all of that, I was determined to defeat Melania on this stream. She kicked my butt over and over and over and over and over again. I died 52 times to Melania before ever making it to phase 2.
Joke, right? Thank you, Mimic. Jesus. All right. Our first time getting her to phase 2. I don't know the Mimic's making it out of this. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know the Mimic's going to get out of this one. Because right now she's going to be focused on him with her Scarlet Aeonia, and he does not know to run away.
Wait.
I ain't ready. I ain't fucking ready. Like, she's bad enough phase 1. Now you want to rot me too? Bitch. Phase 2 about time. Yeah, no kidding, Greg. Why's she naked?
You will witness true horror.
Bro, it's been bad enough. Why's she naked?
Now, rot.
Yes. Of course she's got a phase 2, as if phase 1 wasn't bad enough.
I'm not sugarcoating it, guys. Phase 2 did not get any better. She gets the Radagon treatment, where she gets a lot of AoE moves added to her moveset. A lot of her moves are faster. She has new moves that just completely come out of nowhere and surprise the heck out of you. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure that her waterfowl is sped up during phase 2, making it even harder to deal with. It took me another 40 tries after getting her to phase 2 just to finally make it to defeating her. And what a moment it was.
Get the fuck over here.
Your strength. Extraordinary.
Fucking call, baby!
True Lord.
Almost knocked my mic over.
Dear Mikola. Oh, dearest Mikola. My brother. I'm sorry. I finally met.
It's finally time for us to tackle the endings, and we begin by summoning Rani the Witch.
The battle is over, I see.
We back. We getting right into it.
I do solemnly swear
Up to no good.
to every living being and every living soul. Now cometh the age of the stars. 1,000-year voyage under the wisdom of the moon. Here beginneth the chill night that encompasses all, reaching the great beyond. Into fear, doubt, and loneliness, as the path stretcheth into darkness. Well then, shall we?
Shall
My fair consort eternal.
Damn, that armor ugly as hell. Age of the Stars.
It's now time for us to load back into the game and mend the Elden Ring.
We mend the Elden Ring. Age of the Stars, I think, is my favorite. If I had to pick a second
The
favorite,
fallen leaves tell a story
everyone's favorite is Age of Stars.
of how a tarnished became Elden Lord
It's Huge Flame.
in our home, across the fog, the lands between. Our seed will look back upon us and recall an age of fracture.
This armor is so gross. Elden Lord.
And for the final ending, we must first return to the sewers and convene with the Three Fingers.
I should have done my research. But it's all good. It can't feel good. We gotta make this quick.
And with that, our third and final ending has been unlocked, and it's time for us to become the Lord of Frenzied Flame.
Frenzied Flame. Boys out here double cheeked up on a Tuesday afternoon. What the hell? One.